Now on CoastTV News.
Race to replace. Early voting in Delaware's controversial State House District 20 begins today. What you need to know about this special election. Advisory almost over. What DenRec is reporting about its warning to swimmers near Lewis. Hotel plans heard. We look at the next steps for two big projects in Rehoboth Beach.
The recent cool down is coming to an end. The intense heat and humidity returns to Delmarva. A heat advisory Friday for feels-like temperatures in the lower 100s. A little cooler for the weekend and better rain chances. Forecast details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Thursday, July 24th. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Lisa Weber is off today. Thank you for being up with us during this 5 o'clock hour. Another comfortable morning at this time. And our First Alert meteorologist, Bob Trihe, joins us now with a look at First Alert weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Delmarva. Soak this in because this is the last real comfortable morning we're going to see for a little while as temperatures are nice. They're in the low to mid 60s, real nice. 62 in Willards and Gumboro, 64 in Georgetown, Millsboro 63, a little milder at the beaches with upper 60s, even lower 70s in Rehoboth right now, and nearly matching dew points. So that means sometimes we have the potential for fog, but right now I'm not seeing that. Visibility really good across the area, about 10 miles, and the winds are calm as we have high pressure over the top of us with mostly clear skies, and it's going to be a beautiful day. But as this high starts to slide offshore, we're going to tap into that heat back to our west. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're warming up into the 70s. It's going to be a quicker warm up today. I think by noon, mid 80s, 70s and 80s at the beaches, and then mid to upper 80s inland areas, and a little cooler at the coast with 70s and low 80s, and then we're ratcheting up the humidity as well. Day part forecast, wind shifting to the south, temperatures rising, as is the humidity, and really hot as we head into Friday, but then a little cooler, a little wetter into the weekend. Your forecast details coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. On your screen right now, we have a map of Delaware State House District 20. It is the area that was represented by Democrat Stell Parker Selby before she resigned in June. This is an area that covers Milton, Lewis, Harbison, Georgetown, has about 23,000 registered voters. And our top story this hour, early voting for District 20. That's the seat vacated by Parker Selby. That starts today. That early voting starts at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is today through Saturday. Then it continues July 28th and 29th with those same hours. Then July 30th through August 3rd. At that time, the early voting is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Election day is August 5th. Early voting is only taking place at the Lewis Elementary and Mariner Middle Schools. So let's take a look at who is on the ballot. Democrat Alana Berry will face off against Republican Nikki Miller. Earlier this month, Berry was selected as the candidate by District 20 Democrat Committee. She founded the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence. That's a free public charter school in Georgetown. And here is Berry on making education a priority in this race.
I think there's a lot of room in our K-12 system to think more strategically about how we support students, how funding flows through our school systems.
Democrat has experience in Dover working on policy and budget under former Delaware Governor John Carney. The Republican candidate, Nikki Miller, is a longtime educator and former Cape Henlopen High School principal. In less than 1 year, Miller is making a second run at this seat. It was in November 2024. Miller lost to Parker Selby by just 275 votes, and she told CoastTV she hopes the experience she gained from past campaigns will better her chances in a special election.
I think it's the single most important job there is. If we want to continue to enjoy where we live, we have to continue to invest in our schools and invest in our students because they are literally the future.
Miller's campaign of late has contrasted her emphasis on education with Berry's. So here is how we got to this point of actually needing a special election. Former Democratic Representative Parker Selby resigned from her seat in June after citing health issues. Parker Selby had just won re-election to a second term after flipping the longtime Republican seat in the 2022 election. Again, the District 20 special election is set for August 5th. Happening today, plans for two hotels in Rehoboth Beach are heading to a public hearing, the first of which is the Atlantic Crown Hotel. They're looking at construction next to the Sands Hotel on Baltimore Avenue. Also, there is the continued public hearing on the Belhaven Hotel. Those plans include 105 rooms, an underground parking garage, ground-level retail shops, and more. The Bellhaven project is on Rehoboth Avenue, fronting the boardwalk. It's been a long road for developers trying to bring these plans to fruition. It was back in June the Atlantic Crown was pushed forward to a public hearing. Also in June, the Planning Commission in Rehoboth Beach approved the Bellhaven Hotel for a public hearing. This did not come without controversy from officials, as the committee had originally opposed plans relating to loading berths, railings, and an antenna, but later withdrew that stance in May. People in Rehoboth Beach have mixed opinions on the possible development.
The proposed building over top of the stores and the restaurants here, the Candy Kitchen, which is iconic. I hate to see the sky go away.
I think that it would ruin the appeal of the smaller shops, and I don't think it would fit in.
Those public hearings for both hotel plans take place at 1:30 p.m. at Rehoboth Beach's City Hall. We do have an update on the swim advisory issued for Delaware's northern beaches. According to DENREC, the swim advisory at the Cape Henlopen State Park main beach is set to end at 4:30 this afternoon. The advisory was made this week due to fecal indicator bacteria results that were above the recreational water quality standard. DENREC and the Lewis Beach Patrol tell CoastTV water testing showed high levels of fecal indicator bacteria, which can come from various natural and human sources like pet waste, trash, boats, and with heavy rain and storm water also playing a part. The family of George Chalil, the teen who drowned in the Broadkill River, is holding a food sale to raise money to return his body to Guatemala. It's happening Saturday starting at 5 at North Ray Street in Georgetown. Nice Chalil vanished while crabbing with his family earlier this month. His body was recovered a day later in the Delaware Bay, and you can find more information on this on our website, coasttv.com. Delaware taking steps to launch an AI sandbox, giving companies a safe space to test artificial intelligence tools. Governor Matt Meyer signed a resolution to develop the program, which allows pilot projects in industries like healthcare and finance under careful oversight. Supporters say it'll keep Delaware competitive and ensure AI grows in ethical, transparent ways. Ocean City Police Department and the town has reached a deal. According to the department, the new pay scale features an entry-level starting pay of $64,000. OCPD says the next in-person testing session for those interested in joining its ranks is July 26. Now taking a live look at Washington, D.C., President Trump trying to turn the focus from the Epstein files by touting trade talks with some of the country's biggest trade partners and tariffs on other nations. There's also a new report that the president told his name is in a file. A subcommittee in the House votes to subpoena Justice Department for the full unredacted Epstein files, and NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the controversy over the late convicted sex offender still is consuming in Washington.
New developments this morning in the push for transparency in the Jeffrey Epstein case, coming from both sides of the aisle.
I mean, you'd have to have your head in the sand to say that this is going to go away.
In a bipartisan vote, a House subcommittee moved to subpoena the Justice Department to release full files on the notorious sex offender. Also seeking subpoenas for high-profile names including former President Clinton and a string of past attorneys general, having already subpoenaed convicted Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition next month. The Deputy Attorney General is expected to meet with her soon. An attorney who represented more than 200 Epstein victims says they are deeply anxious that Maxwell could be pardoned.
What incentive does she have to tell him anything if she's getting nothing out of it?
That as the Wall Street Journal is out with new reporting that President Trump is named in the Justice Department's Epstein files. The paper, citing senior administration officials, also notes that Attorney General Pam Bondi told the president in May that his name appears multiple times along with many other high-profile figures. President Trump was asked about that last week.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing.
A DOJ official tells NBC News a mention of anyone would not necessarily suggest wrongdoing, and the Attorney General said nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, while the White House is roundly rejecting the Journal's reporting. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour on Coast TV News Today. Coming up, Beach Patrol presentation, how the Rehoboth Beach Patrol will soon be embedded in the history of the city forever. Also, vandals sink sod farm, the amount of damage that was caused and the reward being offered for more information. And scooping ice cream. That, and there's more to a local ice cream shop and sweet treats. Coast TV News Today continues. Everyone loves ice cream in the summertime, and there are plenty of ice cream shops to be found on Delmarva. As Coast TV's Zakia Jennings shows us, there's one in Rehoboth Beach that not only serves up flavorful treats, they also serve up life lessons as they hit their 1-year anniversary.
Rainbow sprinkles, one of the many toppings Tori Moore can put on your ice cream here at Uncle David's Ice Cream Shop. This shop's mission is simple: to support people with Down syndrome like Tori, Connor, and Davy.
I do the cake cashier part with it. Is that I like the hand out customer stuff for the scooping.
Uncle David's Ice Cream Shop is celebrating their 1-year anniversary in Rehoboth Beach, though they've been in the mobile order business since 2023. Jim Watson has been with the team for 3 years.
This started 20 years ago with a young man called David. His name was David. And with the Boardwalk Buddy Walk, just spreading awareness throughout the community.
Boardwalk Buddy Walk is an annual walk and serves as an opportunity to support and educate people about the Down syndrome community.
Welcome to Uncle David's Ice Cream Shop.
Watson's son, Connor Watson, has helped with Uncle David's Ice Cream Shop for years, taking orders, scooping ice cream, and taking care of warehouse inventory.
David is a great person, and I want to be more like him.
Watson says the focus of this shop in the last year has been growth.
You know, by doing this, you know, it builds confidence, they gain value.
Various items are sold at the shop. All proceeds made go towards supporting the mission. Manager Liz Pensa says compared to last season, the willingness to work and learn something new is unmatched.
Moving from one task to the other, whether that's they're on the register, going straight into scooping, they're bright and cheerful whenever they walk into the business, ready to start their day, ready to work.
Davey Frederick is just starting out with the team and works the register and scoops ice cream. Davey says his favorite task is
ice cream shop.
Because life is better with ice cream, a sprinkle of hope, a cherry on top, and a team committed to helping you thrive. For Coastal Connections, I'm Zakia Jennings.
Time is 5:17 and we're getting a live look at the hints of the sunrise at Rehoboth Beach. Great time of the morning there. And Bob, our nice, comfortable conditions nearing an end. Maybe not today.
Well, not today, but you know the saying, Matt, all good things come to an end, and our little break from that intense heat and humidity is coming to an end. Today, still not that bad, but we start to ratchet up the heat. It's going to be another nice day, mostly sunny temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and the humidity creeping up. Then Friday, a different story. Heat advisory, sweltering heat, mid 90s, and I think we're looking at feels like temperatures at least 100 degrees. And we do have a heat advisory. This is for tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m. for southern Delaware into the eastern shore, not including parts of far southern Maryland near Salisbury, but I assume that this will be included a little bit later on today. And then we have extreme heat warnings into the urban areas around Philly, into New York as well. They could be really hot, and those heat advisories extended to New England, back into the Ohio Valley, and then down into the Mississippi River Valley. So a lot of heat just back to our west. But it's comfortable this morning, 62 in Gumboro, Georgetown 64, 64 in Milton, Ocean Pines 62, 68 Bethany Beach, and 70 in Rehoboth. And we have dew point temperatures in the low to mid 60s near the actual temperature. And sometimes we'll see fog with that, but we're not. We're seeing good visibility around 10 miles as the winds are calm right now. And the skies are mostly clear. I think we're just looking at some high cirrus clouds as high pressure is keeping us high and dry up and down the East Coast. Looks like a little disturbance off the North Carolina coast. Might have to watch that for some development. Otherwise, the big story is the heat building back to our west, and that will be building in big time once again as we head into Friday. Here's Futurecast warming through the 60s into the 70s this morning. By the 2 p.m. hour, mid 80s, 70s, and 80s at the coast. Some upper 80s inland areas. A little bit later this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. And then tonight, not as cool. In fact, it's going to be warm and muggy by tomorrow morning. Low to mid 70s, and then here comes the heat. Low 90s by noon tomorrow. 80s and 90s at the coast by 3:30. 95, Salisbury 93 in Millsboro. Even Rehoboth Beach at 95, and a stifling Friday evening on the way. As we're seeing dew points into the mid to upper 60s today, last day of those dew points in the 60s. Then it's very humid to miserable, I think, as we go into the upcoming weekend. Today's feels like temperatures not too bad near 90 inland areas. Then tomorrow, different story, feeling like 102 to 104 inland, even at the coast, feeling like mid to upper 90s. Then we head into the weekend, dry Saturday morning, and with the front, it's going to be a little cooler, and I think we increase showers and storms later Saturday, and then Sunday does look a little unsettled as well, but not a washout. 89 in Harrington if you're headed to the fair today. 82 in Rehoboth. Make sure you have plenty of water. Cambridge 87, Crisfield 85, Ocean City 83. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. The heat wave is short-lived. It does cool down a little bit into the weekend, upper 80s to around 90 with the showers and storms Saturday and Sunday. Dries out on Monday. It's still hot, 91, and 94 on Tuesday, 93 Wednesday as the heat comes back. Umbrella giveaway winner is Nancy Fisher from Ocean City, Maryland. Congratulations to Nancy on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Thanks, Bob. Storm drain work on East Naylor Mill Road expected to wrap up this Friday in Salisbury. There is just one more pipe that still needs cleaning. Crews will work from 9 a.m. to noon with a partial lane closure in place. Although full closures are expected, drivers are advised to use caution in this area. Authorities investigating vandalism at Quantico Creek Sod Farms in Wicomico County. Now, as you can see from our coast copter, damage is quite extensive. Rings of tire marks cover the land. Farmers say between 5 and 10 acres of land were impacted. Most of it's ruined. They say the damage tops $100,000. The sod farm was on track for harvesting in December, but not now.
In a 5 to 10 acre piece of ground, we might be able to salvage 20% of it. It's going to cost a lot of money and effort to do that.
Police are still searching for the vandals. The owner of Quantico Creek Farm is offering a $1,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Up next on Coast TV News Today, Beach Patrol presentation. We'll tell you about a history-making event for those that protect the beaches there. We'll be right back. Rehoboth Beach will unveil a new historical marker, this one donating the Beach Patrol's long history. Mayor Stan Mills says it's an honor to receive the state historical designation, and there is a ceremony for the marker. It's the morning of August 5th at 9 a.m. at the Beach Patrol. The 100th anniversary Pony Swim on Chincoteague is less than a week away. There is enhanced security measures this year after a credible online threat was discovered in the spring. Umbrellas, coolers, and non-clear bags are not allowed.
Make sure you don't have anywhere to be. This Chincoteague doesn't really operate on that kind of time schedule, and when all those people kind of pull on here, we're a one-way on, one-way off island, so there's a lot of traffic afterwards. So sit back and enjoy it and let a lot of the people who just come for the event filter out.
Organizers say to factor in extra time for additional security screenings and have patience on the roads. And get ready for one of the Eastern Shore's most iconic traditions, the Chincoteague Pony Swim. Watch live as the Saltwater Cowboys guide the wild ponies across the Assateague Channel to Chincoteague Island. Coverage begins at 7 a.m. this Wednesday on DSN and anywhere on DSN+. Don't miss the tradition, the excitement, and the magic of the Pony Swim, only on DSN. And we are tracking another nice day today. Great one to hit the sand and surf at the beaches,
yes.
Bob.
Watch out on that sand. It's going to be hot, though, Matt. We're
right.
going to be looking at a lot of sun beating down on that sand, and make sure you have the sunscreen as well. Fenwick Island and Ocean City, upper 70s, close to 80. Lower 80s in Fenwick Island. I think it's just high clouds. Rip current threat is low. UV index is extreme, waves of 1 to 2 feet. And I think a pretty smooth ferry ride up to Cape May from Lewis with low 80s for you, low 80s for Rehoboth as well. I think we're looking at mostly sunny skies, water temperatures into the 70s. On the bay side, 1 foot waves and mid 80s in Cambridge today, mostly sunny. Similar conditions in Crisfield as well. Then it's really hot Friday, but then a little cooler for the weekend and a few showers and storms, not a washout. I'll have more on your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
All right, thanks, Bob. And after the break on Coast TV News Today, land use reform recommendations, how a group of volunteers is helping officials on future land use policy in Sussex County. Also, water worries. Possible good news relating to the swim advisories at several beaches along the coast. And District 20 decision. We'll break down the early voting in that special election in Delaware. Coast TV News Today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Race to replace. Early voting in Delaware's controversial State House District 20 begins today. What you need to know about this special election. Advisory almost over. What DENREC is reporting about its warning to swimmers near Lewis. Hotel plans heard. We look at the next steps for 2 big projects in Rehoboth Beach.
The recent cool down is coming to an end. The intense heat and humidity returns to Delmarva. A heat advisory Friday for feels-like temperatures in the lower 100s. A little cooler for the weekend and better rain chances. Forecast details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
July 24th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Elisa Weber has the morning off, and it is 5:30 a.m. First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us right now to help you prepare as you make your way out the door. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Delmarva. I think we're in good shape out the door. It's actually pleasantly cool. Look at these low 60s from Willards up to Georgetown, 63 in Millsboro. A little milder at the coast, 71 Lewis. We've got 68 in Bethany Beach right now. And anytime you have dew point temperatures that are close to matching the actual temperature, you have to worry about fog, but we're not seeing that. Good visibility, 10 miles from Ocean City back towards the eastern shore as a winter calm, and they're calm under high pressure. I think we're seeing a few wispy clouds. That'll be the case today, but it's high pressure, but back to the west. Heat is building in. Once this high slides offshore, that heat really kicks in as we go into tomorrow. But a cool start. Here's 6 a.m., low 60s, 70s at the coast, and then it's a quicker warm-up by noon. We're in the low to mid 80s, cooler at the beaches, and then mid to upper 80s this afternoon with mostly sunny skies, but a little cooler at the coast as we go into the afternoon and evening. Riding the ferry looking pretty good. A mix of sun and clouds or high clouds today. It should be a smooth ride up to Cape May with a light southerly breeze and temperatures in the upper 70s and then lower 80s late this morning into early this afternoon.
All right, thanks, Bob. On your screen right now, we have a map of Delaware District 20. This is where Stell Parker Selby was the state representative before resigning in June. It's an area that covers Milton, Lewis, Harbison, Georgetown, and it has about 23,000 registered voters. Our top story this half hour, early voting for District 20 and their special election that starts today. Takes place from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today through Saturday, and then continues July 28th and 29th with those same hours. Then July 30th through August 3rd. At that time, the voting hours change, starting at 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. those days. Election Day, August 5th. Early voting is only at Lewis Elementary and Mariner Middle Schools. Later today, we're expecting DENREC to lift its swim advisory for beaches in the Lewis area. We're talking about the main beach at Cape Henlopen State Park. According to DENREC, that advisory is in effect until 4:30 p.m. The advisory was made this week due to fecal indicator bacteria results that were above the recreational water quality standard. We spoke with one beachgoer and her granddaughter in Lewis who are playing it safe and avoiding the water on Wednesday.
Just coming to the beach and seeing there weren't many people in the water and then seeing the signs and stuff. So yeah, and it was a bummer because we're here to swim and she loves to get in the water and now we kind of can't.
This same area had an advisory late last summer. That was due to medical waste washing ashore. Again, as of now, DNREC reporting the swim advisory at Cape Henlopen State Park's main beach, scheduled to end this afternoon at 4:30. Happening today, plans for 2 hotels in Rehoboth Beach heading to a public hearing, the first of which is the Atlantic Crown. That would be built next to the Sands Hotel on Baltimore Avenue. Also, we have a continued public hearing on the Bellhaven Hotel. The plans for that include 105 rooms, an underground parking garage, ground-level retail shops, and more. And that project is set for Rehoboth Avenue, fronting the boardwalk. Public hearings for both hotel plans take place at 1:30 p.m. at the Rehoboth Beach City Hall. Happening today, a working group in Sussex County will meet to come up with recommendations and ideas to shape future land use. After 6 meetings, the group has drafted 22 recommendations, which the Sussex County Council says may be consolidated. Some include creating higher density for development in certain areas to create a variety of housing options, increasing maximum building heights, which could add more affordable units, and aligning road improvements with new developments. Some people living in Sussex County that we spoke with think that the group serves an important purpose.
You want to hear the people who live here, who've been here their whole life and are so not used to the busyness aspect of the growth.
And the group of volunteers is set to meet again at 10 a.m. New this morning, Delaware's military families and veterans are getting support from the state. Governor Matt Meyer signed 3 bills, he says, expand access to education, strengthen legal protections, and improve services for active duty military veterans and National Guard members. House Bill 160 allows tuition payments for Guard members to go directly to college. House Bill 55 adds military status as a protected class under Delaware's anti-discrimination laws. Delaware is also taking steps to launch an AI sandbox, giving companies a safe space to test artificial intelligence tools. Governor Meyer signed the resolution to develop the program. This allows pilot projects in industries like healthcare and finance under careful oversight. Supporters say it will keep Delaware competitive and ensure AI grows in ethical, transparent ways. Now taking a live look at Washington, D.C., got a big update late Wednesday night. It's related to the Jeffrey Epstein files. The late financier and convicted sex offender died by suicide in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial. Reed Binion shows us the new revelation involving Attorney General Pam Bondi and how President Trump could be connected to the documents.
I mean, you'd have to have your head in the sand to say that this is going to go away. It's not.
Republican Congressman Ralph Norman, among many GOP lawmakers, acknowledging the uproar over the Jeffrey Epstein files isn't likely to die down anytime soon. This amid news that Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Donald Trump in May that his name appeared in documents related to the Epstein case, according to sources familiar with the discussion. That conflicts with what Trump said when he was asked about it last week.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
It's not clear how significant the references to Trump are in the files, which Bondi said also contained the names of other high-profile figures, according to White House officials. And a White House official pointed out there's no evidence Trump was involved in wrongdoing. Meanwhile, in a surprise move, a House Oversight Subcommittee voted Wednesday to subpoena the Department of Justice for access to the Epstein files. And House Oversight Chair James Comer subpoenaed Jeffrey Epstein's former associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted of crimes including child sex trafficking related to Epstein. She's set to be deposed in prison August 11th. Also, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is expected to meet with Maxwell Thursday. 2 people familiar with the meeting told CNN. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Still a lot more news to get to this morning on Coast TV News Today. Coming up, more safety measures. What new features Meta is rolling out to protect children online. Also, softball showdown. We head over to Henry S. Parker Athletic Complex in Salisbury for week 2 of the USSSA softball tournament. And contest to capture the coast. What scenes organizers in Rehoboth Beach say are picture perfect. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
5:40 on our Thursday morning, seeing a mirror image of the buildings on the canal on the Irish Ice Can. Beautiful there, 66 degrees, even cooler inland areas with low to mid 60s. Feeling good out there, and dew points almost matching the actual temperature. It's muggy, and sometimes you can see fog with these conditions, but we're not. We're seeing 10 miles visibility from Delaware through the eastern shore. So good visibility and calm winds. So good travel weather this morning. Here's your drive cast. I gave it the green light this morning. Dry and pleasant, but warmer this afternoon. Watch out for those hot handles on the car, and a little more humid as well. And call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico.
Hey, heads up for Bethany Beach bikers. Happening today, the town's police department is teaming up with DelDOT and the Bethany Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Committee. They're holding a bicycle safety checkpoint. This is at Wellington Parkway and South Pennsylvania Avenue between 8 and 11 a.m. And if you do that, if you head over there, you get free front and rear lights added to your bike. Deadline quickly approaching for Rehoboth Beach's Reflections. This is the city's annual photo competition. Photographers have until September 5th to submit up to 3 photos for a chance to be featured in the city's 2026 calendar. City officials say there are a few reminders for what makes a good submission. Number 1 is only submit horizontal photos. 2, make sure your photo was taken recently. In the past 2 years is a good suggestion there. And 3, ensure it was taken in the greater Rehoboth Beach area.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. The softball action is back at Henry S. Parker Athletic Complex, and it's another round of pool play in the USSSA tournament.
It's the PA Stars taking on Indiana Magic Gold 11. Cameron Hannon of PA Stars hits a single to the outfield, allowing Mia Schneider to run home, making the score 1-0 in the top of the first. Now at the bottom of the first, Mariah Boyd of Indiana Magic Gold 11 bunts the rock, makes her way to first, while Kennedy Hughes goes from first to second. Hughes starts to go for third, but makes her way back. The ball is then overthrown past Ryan Davis of PA Chaos. So Hughes goes on to take third, then home, while Boyd flies past second and ends on third, tying the score 1-1. Moving on, Alyssa Grimes of Indiana Magic Gold 11 hits a double, allowing Boyd to come home, allowing Indiana to take the lead with a score of 2-1 at the bottom of the first. Now at the top of the third, Abby Barone of PA Stars hits a 2 RBI single, allowing Emma Hornbein and Ella Morris to come home. Now at the bottom of the third, Indiana Magic has a 5-3 lead. Maddie Correll hits an RBI double, making it 6-3. Hughes then hits a single. That would bring Sawyer Brown and Correll to come home, making the score 8-3 at the bottom of the third. Indiana Magic Gold comes out on top, 9-3.
That'll for sports. Have a great day, everybody.
Up tonight on DSN at 7 live. Minor League Baseball, the Shorebirds continue their series against the Lynchburg Hillcats, and then catch the final score at 10:30 over on DSN Plus at 8 a.m. USSSA Eastern National Softball Championships, and more action in that tournament at 12:15. The Little League Softball Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament happening this week, and the Delmarva Sports Network is in Bristol, Connecticut, covering Delaware's Camden, Wyoming squad. This is brought to you by Preston Automotive. We have live updates on the Delmarva Sports Network app, website, and social media. Today in entertainment news, updates on 2 killer streaming series and a film about a movement that's been transforming the U.S. for 60 years. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
I already know where the bodies are buried.
Season 2 of Wednesday has yet to debut, but Netflix has already renewed the series for Season 3. Jenna Ortega returns as Wednesday Addams when the first part of Season 2 premieres August 6th. The second half of Season 2 begins on September 3rd.
For only murders in the building, I'm Charles Hay.
What the hell?
We have a premiere date for Only Murders in the Building Season 5. Hulu sent out this first look photo and announced the Emmy-winning series will return on September 9th with 3 episodes, followed by new episodes weekly.
It's one of America's most unlikely movements. The fight to convert abandoned railroads to trails.
There's no way of getting something as terrific as a trail without putting some work into it.
Over the last 60 years, a grassroots movement has built more than 26,000 miles of public paths on former railroad corridors. The documentary From Rails to Trails, narrated by Edward Norton, explores what it's taken to transform disused railways into walking, biking, and recreation havens. The film debuts October 15th on public television stations and PBS.org. Hitting the trail in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Rough week? You can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/signup and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Fridays.
The water, smooth as glass in Ocean City. It's calm, it's mild at the beaches, 74 degrees, but we start to crank up the summer heat again today with upper 80s and then mid-90s Friday. With a heat advisory, feels like temperatures in the lower 100s, but a bit cooler for the weekend and unfortunately a little wet. Won't be a washout. Your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:48 and you are looking live at the early morning scene in Ocean City. Not today, Bob, but you do have your eye on a heat advisory.
Yep, and this isn't our first rodeo, Matt, this year. We've seen this several times this year already, and we do have a heat advisory for all of Delaware, parts of the Eastern Shore. This picks up tomorrow at 10 a.m. and lasts until 9 p.m. Friday. Now, farther to the south, Salisbury through Snow Hill and Ocean City, we don't have a heat advisory yet, but that could change later today. Extreme heat warnings north of Dover into Philly and New York. So really hot, not just for us, but the Northeast back through the Ohio Valley and through the Mississippi River Valley as well. This morning, pretty pleasant out the door, 61 in Willard, Salisbury 63. Millsboro also 63, a little milder in Lewis at 71. And the dew point temperatures in the low to mid 60s. And they're almost matching the actual temperatures, which means sometimes we can see fog, but so far so good across the area. 9 miles in Easton could be seeing a little haze, but all in all, I think your travel weather is looking good as the winds are calm. The reason for that is that we're under high pressure, so calm and mostly clear. Just some mid to high level clouds right now, but we have high pressure still over us. But as this slides to the east in the next 24 hours, that's going to open the door to all that heat that's building back to our west and southwest. But enjoy the pleasant weather this morning. Here's 6 a.m. We're still in the 60s and 70s, and then mid-morning, quick warm-up, upper 70s. By 2 p.m., mid to upper 80s away from the coast, 70s and 80s at the beaches, and a warmer and muggier evening on the way. And tonight, mostly clear and warmer as we go into Friday morning. We're looking at temperatures beginning in the low 70s, and it's going to have that muggy feel as well. And then it gets pretty hot. By noon, 91 in Salisbury, Selbyville, and Millsboro, with 80s and even 92 in Rehoboth, and really roasting by mid-afternoon. 94 in Seaford, Salisbury 95, and mid to upper 80s at the coast, even 96 or 97 at Lewis, and a hot Friday evening on the way. As excuse me, we have one more day of dew points in the 60s. It's humid today, then very humid to miserable as we go into the weekend and early next week. Feels like temperatures today not bad, upper 80s to around 90 inland areas. Tomorrow bad, feeling like 102 to 104. Stay hydrated. Find a nice cool place. Temperatures into the mid to upper 90s. Changes into the weekend, not as hot as clouds increase. Showers and storms, I think, later Saturday. And then again, Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Won't be a washout, but definitely we are going to have those rain chances. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. There's the hot one tomorrow. 95, mostly sunny. But then back to 89 Saturday. Late day storms. More storms on Sunday. 91 and pretty hot into the first half of next week. Low to mid 90s and dry as we go through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
All right, thank you, Bob. Coast is clear at Wellington Beach in Somerset County now that a bacteria advisory has been lifted. The health department there issued the warning last Friday after routine testing found high levels of bacteria in the water. Follow-up testing earlier this week confirmed the levels have returned to a safe range, but some people we spoke with say concerns over water quality have not gone away.
The water quality has been going down. The fishermen are complaining, the crabbers are complaining, and it's affecting everyone.
The beach is cleared for swimming, but people living nearby say long-term solutions are needed to protect the bay. Health officials say they'll continue routine monitoring and post all future advisories online. Tesla reported a double-digit drop in earnings for the second quarter following a record sales drop. Sales of its best-selling Model Y and Model 3 fell 12% compared to a year ago, while sales of its more expensive cars, including the Cybertruck, plunged 52%. These drops have been attributed to backlash from CEO Elon Musk's political activities, violent acts against Tesla vehicles and dealers, and increased competition for electric vehicles. Meta has introduced new safety measures to protect kids and teens online. The parent company to Instagram says teen accounts have new safety features for direct messaging that provide more context about the accounts they're engaging with, making it easier to distinguish if someone is a scammer. And there's a new block and report option where both actions can happen at the same time. Right now it's 5:53 this morning and time to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's pets are two partners in crime. That's what we're being told. Check out on your screen. These two dogs may have sweet faces, but we're getting reports they enjoy causing mischief. The two are submitted to us by Terry in Georgetown. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. On your screens, that QR code. If you scan that, you can get your friends to us. And then watch weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. 5:56 a.m. and we got a quick look at your forecast before you head out the door. Bob, I think I'm speaking for many of us living here that I have really enjoyed the pleasant conditions this week.
Yep, it really has been a nice break from that July heat and humidity. Not everybody across the country sees that, Matt, and we will be seeing things begin to change as we're looking at temperatures pleasant this morning in the 60s, but then a quicker warm-up. Winds turn to the south this afternoon. We're into the upper 80s inland areas, around 88 degrees with high clouds. And then here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast, and really hot on Friday with a heat advisory. 95, feeling like lower 100s, but that's short-lived because we head into the weekend and wouldn't you know, here comes the rain. But it's not a washout. Late day and evening storm Saturday and Sunday, close to 90, and then the 90s Monday through Wednesday, low to mid 90s. Looks like July ends with some storms on Thursday, 85, and August starts. Can you believe August starts next Friday, 83, and maybe some storms.
All right, thanks, Bob. And coming up in our next hour, special election starts. We break down the early voting in Delaware's controversial State House District 20 race. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.